Welcome back. We've obviously taken pretty much the half of this year off from recording.
A longer hiatus.
Yeah, we went into this year with a banger. So we've taken time to kind of figure out things, gone through some things. So we're happy to be back and
super happy.
Yeah. So we will be posting twice a week to kind of get things rolling. But with that being said, how are you right now, Rachel?
Right now, I'm actually good. I'm very good. I've tried to learn this week. We'll go into this, but what's been going on and everything, I've learned to accept it. I got my punching bag.
Did you really?
And yeah, oh yeah, I've been fucking that thing up. My mom got me boxing gloves for Mother's Day. Yeah,
there you go.
And then you can put hold the bottom platform with your ankles and do push up or sit ups and then hit the bag and stuff. So I've been trying to do different workouts. And yesterday was the first day that I took no medication at all. I've been slowly trying to wean myself off. Yeah, no Klonopin. I didn't smoke until the end of the day. I got my card, so. And
what does that?
No
what does that mean?
Medication for pot.
Oh.
I can smoke. I smoke legally. So
I'm proud of you.
Yeah, man. So I didn't smoke until the end of the day. So I tried, and I was at work as well. So I was let's see how this is gonna go. And it gets to about 110 in the kitchen where I work.
So can't believe that.
Yeah, I know, it's ridiculous. So yesterday, I held it pretty good together all day. I left my medication at home because I was you're just gonna bang it out, and I have been. I mean, I'll get weepy here and there, whatever. But today, I'm good. How are you?
Awesome. I'm okay. I don't fucking know. I'm good. I haven't really had any hardcore stuff going on, hardcore lows.
Yeah.
I have been at the numb stage though for a while. That point where you just kind of stop fighting for things that are just never going to happen or never going to change. And I'm at the kind of the stage where I'm is this working? You know what I mean? Do I need to... The problem is oh, hey, Kat. I can't...
Welcome back, cucumber.
Yeah, right? I can't figure out... It takes me a while to figure out root reasons. Doesn't mean that my feelings aren't real. It's just figuring out what the root cause is and the realistic way to kind of go about things instead of just I don't know. It's funny because I was reading up on BPD. We both kind of wanted to talk about this. And a few things I found out, which was very interesting because the problem is I'm bipolar, but then I have BPD. So we talked about it before where how do you know which thing is which? So if I get angry about something, my instant feeling is I strongly hate that person in that moment. I literally can be F you, I'd never want to talk to you again. But it's so intense. Yeah. And then, there are people that when they have those moments, they kind of black out and they say things they don't mean. Yeah.
Destroy their room.
Yeah. So that right there, that's actually how people with BPD, that happens. I haven't had a blackout. I feel I'm in a constant state of teetering. I think I might truly dislike you, but I'm not sure. So then when things happen, It's just instant, I'm done. I want to write you off. I'm done. But then there are times where it flips and I'm okay, this is comfortable. Is comfortable a good thing? I don't know. But this is comfortable.
No.
I am content with how things are, and
Mm-hmm.
I could go on like this. But then as soon
Right.
as something happens, I'm like, fuck you. I'm out. Like it's such an
First
intense
off, fuck you,
switch.
bitch, and the click you claim.
So yeah, that was like one thing that just made so much sense, because I'm like, is it normal for me to be so enraged with someone that, oh my god, the cat's staring at me right now, this is amazing. It's like, it's like having a studio audience.
Pop cucumber.
um so yeah, I didn't really understand why the extreme of I'm okay with this, and then I just cannot fucking do this, I just want to be
Mm-hmm.
done with it all.
Right.
um
How many days are there?
yeah, and it's just I don't know, it was just weird for me. And I've been like watching this chick that has it, and literally the way she talks about it, it was frightening, because I was like, I've been like this since like 9 or 10 years old. Like
Right.
the things I'm like, this is like my whole life. This is
Right.
how I've been my entire life, and I didn't
Right.
know that
Right.
it was this reason.
Right. Well, I know, right? Mind blown. Well, it's funny because, I've been, do you mean slothing? I, it's cute
Some shit
though.
stuck in your shit.
Sloth.
Very
It's a
nice.
sloth. Oh, I got to see a sloth, so obviously that kind of helped change my life. It was very emotional though. I was like when I seen it because I've been wanting to do it for so long. I didn't get to
Yeah.
go. I went to Costa Rica and didn't get it. But anyway, ADHD, what's up? um, right, shiny. When I went and bought the punching bag, he was like, well, what are you looking for? I'm like, well, I'm looking for something that I hit and it's not gonna like bounce back. I have ADHD. I don't want to be distracted and get like boom because I'm not paying attention, right? And he started cracking up. He's like, are you serious? I was like, as a heart attack? Yeah. And he was like, okay, I'll find you something that doesn't move. I'm like, all right. So, like talking about how to distinguish what comes from where, you know, after the diagnosis of the PTSD, then it's things kind of started to make a little bit more sense. But then it was like, wait a minute. So if it's been untreated for decades, as he says, then what? So am I really? Do I really have anxiety and depression, or are those just side causes from PTSD, which I found out is often misdiagnosed as BPD or bipolar disorder. And I
Interesting.
remember, yes, 3 years ago, I remember going to a psychiatrist. It was my second visit, but it was a different doctor. And it said, he said, she wrote bipolar with a question mark. And I'm like, she never said anything to me.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, she didn't put you on medication for it. So I'm assuming it was just like, whatever. Maybe she just thought it, but wasn't sure. She should have talked to me because that probably would have saved me 2 years of fucking agony if I had known that that's what she thought and tried to find out.
Right.
But when that one doctor sat down and talked to me and was like, you have PTSD, it's been untreated, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, all right. So now I've come to the point where it's like, I'm really trying to figure out, you have to figure out what you try to heal first. Like ADHD, like that motherfucker's going to be my shadow for the rest of my life. I'll worry about that later. I've been dealing with that my whole life.
Yeah.
So now it's like, knowing that it'll take possibly up to 10 years at least to really fully heal, to like have a brain that your neuron network is normal, that's hard to deal with sometimes.
Yeah.
And when I was reading about how it can be diagnosed with PTD or BPD, I was telling my mom the other day, when last week I think, when I was having like really down, I was like, this is suffering. Like this is suffering. Like why would anybody want this for someone else? Like it's mental agony and suffering and mental suffering, and it sucks. But I'm just trying to figure out one day at a time, do one day at a time.
Right.
Knowing what my triggers are. I know what they are, but sometimes I can't. It just takes over. my brain, my body, like, and I can't, say, okay, this is a trigger, calm down, take a deep breath. I can't do that all the time, but now I'm
Right.
trying to. I'm trying to take, I'm just trying to be more mentally strong, I guess. And, you have to, like, know what your triggers are. You have to know when your lows are, when to talk to somebody, when not. I mean, how many times did I text you over the past couple months, like,
Yeah.
yo, bro, I'm over this shit. Like,
And that's amazing. That right there is such a good um it's good to know when you're at that point, but also if we knew how to control those things fully, we wouldn't have
be,
them. You know what I mean?
right,
So it's not
exactly.
something that you can learn to control. It's learning where those points are where you're going to flip the hell out. And it's like, you know, which coping skill can I do right now? And sometimes it's hard to even think of because you're seeing red. It's like at that point where
Right.
you're mentally suffering, like, how can I fix this? And in that moment, everything feels unfixable. So like,
It
how do
really
you
does.
figure it out, you know?
You feel like it's never gonna get better.
Yeah.
So I've been doing. I mean, I've been watching like documentary after documentary. I'm reading this book called Mind Hacking, and it's actually pretty good. And damn, lost my train of thought. Fucking fuck! I hate ADHD. I should have took my medication this morning, right? I need to know when to take it.
First rule.
Welcome, right? But that's the thing is, I don't want to like. I found that when you're medicated, it. You know how you said before you felt numb,
Yeah.
right? Like when I was first prescribed Xanax, I liked it because it made me feel numb. I didn't feel happy. I didn't feel sad. I didn't feel this. I didn't feel that. So that's why I asked to be taken off of it. Right. I don't want to do that. Like I have to learn. And I mean, is it self medicating when the doctors prescribe it? I don't know. But either way, it is because but you have to sometimes.
Right.
But you don't have to. You have to learn how to feel those feelings so you can get past them. Kind of like the exposure therapy, I guess, that we talked about
Yeah.
before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like,
But the thing to that though is you can't technically fix your brain chemicals.
you can't. No, absolutely not.
So
There's
like for me, like medication, like I've tried to not be
oh
on it, and like before, honestly, before getting into a relationship, I did fine for 9 years. 9 years
without
I
meds.
wasn't medicated, nothing. In a relationship, BPD kicks in. There's the depression, there's the shitty all around feeling all the time, and just waiting
Right.
and being prepared
For
for when it
right.
goes down.
Well, this documentary I was watching last night, right before I went to sleep, I watched something, I can't remember the name, but it was saying, like, they want you to take these antipsychotic drugs, but the side effects of stopping them are a psychotic break. So, is it the medication that's making you that way? Or is it, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
they're, for example, when I was on depression medication and it was working, but then it worked against me once I started getting depressed and hit me so hard that I I was down for
Really?
months. Yeah,
Holy
that was
shit.
that was when I went through that. Like it had to be before we even started the channel when during COVID when I was like in 5 month depression of like not wanting to get out of bed, didn't want to leave the house, couldn't get up barely, just aggravated all the time. I mean, I still get like that, but it.
It's natural.
I stopped cold turkey. It is. I stopped cold turkey taking the depression medication, which you're not supposed to do.
No.
But I was like, no, I don't want to. I'm not gonna depend on this to feel this way. And then I had to try so many other ones, and they take so long to kick in. And I was like, no, fuck that. I'm done. Stick with the anxiety medication. But like you even said, like you can't change the chemicals, but there are things you can do to kind of change them, like working out every morning, like you said you've been doing. You said you
Yeah.
felt a little bit better.
Yeah, no, totally. I don't know, it's just
So if being in a
weird.
relationship is the trigger, why don't you get out of it?
Well, I mean, is that how this is one of those things. Is that supposed to happen because I have BPD? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, but if you were
I mean,
fine before it, what happened?
I was alone, which was fine. You know, it's easier. That's the thing though. Like, it's always there. It's always underlying, even when I'm not in a relationship. The difference
Yeah,
is
for sure.
when I'm not in a relationship, I just self-hate quietly. So
Right,
so it's
right,
like, you suck. That's why you're alone. Look at that girl. She's better than you. Look at that girl. She's funnier than you. Or just people in general. You know what I mean?
right.
Like,
I know,
so
but
is
no,
it better?
don't.
Like, either way, it still attacks me. It's just in a relationship, I deflect it.
Right. Good, good for them. Well, this is the thing. Okay, so we're talking about, the voice or whatever, like that's there whether you choose to hear it or ignore it by medication, like the Xanax did for me. At least with the new medication that I got put on, I could still hear it. So it's all about changing it. Like
Yeah.
you've been talking to yourself this way for so long and now you don't even know what, for me trying to be confident still feels like being cocky, I guess, or
Yeah.
self-absorbed, and that's ridiculous. I shouldn't feel that way. Like I haven't been confident my entire life, and now that I'm finally getting someone's like, wait, is it too much? No, like I'm
Yeah.
starting to like myself. Like, sorry, my bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like I've tried to say, I remember what I was gonna say before. You can't take on.
Welcome back.
You can't. Just got beamed back down. You can't take on, or I can't expect to get everything done at one time. I can't expect to do everything at one time, to fix my anxiety, my depression, heal my ADHD, read every day, get my real estate license, buy a house, buy a car within the next month. It's just
Right.
unrealistic. And I set my expectations so high sometimes that I just disappoint myself. Like,
Right.
you're a failure or whatever, but it's like, you're not. That's just, failure is just an event. That's just something that passed, and you
Yeah.
just have to remember, like, if you didn't go through all that, like, I remember being 21 and to do like a YouTube channel, or 21, 22, wanted to do one, have them in my journals, like, and, that person back then would never do it. And that person back then let people walk all over her. And, I allowed myself to become mentally ill because of how I let people treat me,
Yeah.
not setting boundaries, being disrespected, this, that, the third, not feeling like I'm good enough. And now here I am with what? Fucking the worst PTSD you could possibly have. What a bitch. ADHD. But I'm doing this. Like,
Right.
I've been doing the tickety talks and my channel, and now we're doing this. And, I wouldn't have done that I wouldn't have had the confidence to do that 10 years ago,
Right.
or the courage to do this 10 years ago. You know what I mean? And now, even though I'm more depressed and probably more fucked up, I'm braver for it.
Right.
Careful what you wish for, guys.
But that's, I don't know. That's what's hard for me to, um, because obviously going through things, this is that nature versus nurture thing too. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like, growing up, even from a young age, there were things that played into how we function now. But there's also, I feel like,
You don't say.
yeah, I feel like there are a lot of things that you are just born with too. You know what I mean?
No,
Like
there
bipolar
is
runs in the
no doubt.
family. Schizophrenia runs in the
It
family.
runs in the fan, and I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
I that is the hard part. Is that, like, I don't know for you. Sorry, my thigh itch on my
Yeah. I'm
ass.
like, what are you doing? Scratching your ass
Is
cheeks?
no, my thigh, the bottom of my thigh, some on my chair. Anyway, my thing is how do you identify, like, what voice you're supposed to listen to? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Not like there's like 8 voices running around in my head, like,
Speak for
all the pills.
yourself.
No, right? There's like six, but but how do you know which one? For example, when you're off medication, right? When you're completely free of substances of any kind, legal or not, that's going to be who you really are. You have to work through whatever it is. But it's like now, like with medication, this, that, and I can't even say anything because I still smoke. So that does alter your brain in some way.
Yeah.
But how do you know what voice you're supposed to listen to? And why can't we shut down the ones, that
Because
are
we don't
bad
have
and
control over that.
learn?
That's honestly what meds are for. But
Right.
also, just to piggyback off that, before, when we, like episodes ago, when we talked about how you send a rep for, like, when you start dating
Oh,
someone.
yeah, yeah. You're not really dating me. You're dating my representative. Like, or
Right.
when you
So
first meet me. That's just my representative.
I
But doing
was
these videos, people can now see the real.
right. And so I was thinking, though, about it the other day, and I'm like, I'm always me. Like, whether I'm on meds or not, I'm always me. It just
Oh,
kind of
it's funny.
helps certain things. But even
Mm.
at the beginning of a relationship, I'm still me. The difference is
Yeah.
there are chemicals that are like happy chemicals because you're meeting someone and you feel good
It
about
is
it. And
literally like doing heroin. Did you know that?
right,
It
right.
is the
So
same
that's the
impulse.
problem, is I don't send a rep. I am who I am from the get-go. The problem is
I just can't help that once things settle down,
right, three
the
months
other ones
into
come
it.
out.
Yeah, exactly. 3 months into it, and I'm like questioning everything. I mean, it's earlier than that,
Yep.
but I'm
Yeah.
always me from the
I'm like
beginning.
3 days.
Yes, from the beginning, I'm me. The difference is, in the beginning, it's exciting, it's happy, it's literally why when I write stories, once they get together, I have no idea what to write after that. So my entire story is just leading up to them boinking. And then after that, I don't know what happens.
Me
Because I've
neither.
never experienced where after the first few months,
There's like a
it's
good
great.
thing happening.
Yeah,
Right.
it's never been experienced. So,
I know. Trust me. All right. For example, so remember I was briefly, or I dated, whatever. There was a guy. Remember, he was super nice.
yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Super.
Well, super nice, wicked nice,
Yeah.
and he just, not just, I, told him this. You live far. This isn't gonna work. We've seen each other 3 times in 6 months. Like, it's just not fair.
Yeah.
Easiest breakup of my life. He was like, can we talk about it? I'm like, my decision is final. If you want to talk about it, we can, but I'm not changing my mind. And he was like, all right, then there's nothing to talk about. Good luck. I was like, thanks.
Push, but bye.
Super, super. Right, but the thing is, I could have let that drag on for a long time because he was very nice to me and he was very understanding of, this is the first time I had to deal with kind of dating a little bit and being depressed and
Yeah.
really experiencing like that kind of thing. So I would not speak for days because I didn't feel like it. I didn't
Right.
want to. And he kind
Is
of learned
this
to accept that, and that was nice.
is this the one?
There's only one.
The the Remember you text me that day on a day or something? And you were like, "Hey, do you think what was it, from birth? You gay from
From
birth?"
birth.
Yeah,
Yes, homeboy
that's
that
him.
thinks that. Oh yeah, that
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
Being gay, he thought being thinks thought he says to change his mind because mean better. That being gay is a choice, and that rubbed me the wrong way. And
Yeah.
but it's not his fault. He grew up JW, and all that stuff was implanted in him. Not saying every JW is like that, but in that division or whatever
Mm.
they got going on, that's kind of the thought process.
Yeah.
And ever since that day, my switch was off. I was like,
Yeah.
ow. So,
No.
and I, no. So, and I let it ride still for months, like
Yeah.
3 months. I never even seen him after that, I don't like in person. We only seen each other a couple times.
Yeah.
And, you know, I let it ride on for way longer because right then and there is when I should have, when I wanted to and I tried to, but he didn't, he was like, no. So I was like, okay. And, and, then you come to a point where it's like, it's not even like, it's kind of, I don't care. Like, I didn't even
Yeah.
think twice about it afterwards because I knew that deep down, it just wasn't right. Like, yeah, long distance relationships can work or whatever, but it's like I need someone who's here kind of sometimes.
Yeah.
That, and I don't want to be in a relationship. I don't want to talk to anybody. Like, to
I
me, that
couldn't
wasn't
do
even.
long distance. Oh
I
my
was just
God, my brain
dating.
would be like,
Right. Well, I mean, he always answered calls this night, but I wouldn't even call it a relationship. Like, we talked, like we
yeah,
dated for a little while, or talked because we never seen each other. You know what I mean? So it was like, eh. So whatever.
meh.
And I can't. I've had so many people since posting these stupid TikToks and like that last YouTube video I did on my channel, like writing me and stuff like that, and like, oh, I just want to get to know you, and I just reply the same to all of them. I am just trying to get to know myself as well. Join the club. Like, I can't date right now. Like, I'm trying to figure out who I am too. So
Yeah.
your guess is as good as mine. And that thing I posted yesterday from Judge Judy, that's really where I'm going now with all of my comebacks from men. If you were the trophy at the end of my race, I would walk backwards.
Oh, shit.
That's called boundaries without guilt. That's how you know you're getting somewhere. Because you can have boundaries, but you'll still feel guilty about them, as I usually tend to do, always feeling guilty. I'm not doing that anymore.
Yeah. Fuck that. So, so a pretty cool thing that I learned, I don't know if it's cool, it's actually frightening. But so back to the BPD, there's a thing called an FP, which is a favorite person. This is someone that you will hone in on to either basically someone that you become obsessed with because you want them to be your safe space, or they are your safe space, even if it's toxic. There's always a
Right.
person that you're like, I want to keep this person. So
Yeah.
I read more about it, and it doesn't have to be someone in your life. It can be a celebrity,
That singer guy.
president. So, dude, I'm like, oh my God, this started me writing stories because I used to daydream about Jonathan Taylor Thomas, and I got in trouble in
I
class.
know, JTT.
This has happened my whole life. So the best part about it is it's always like people that I don't know, because in my stories I can tweak them to how I would want them
Right.
to be. But then
But wait, there's more. That's what you said. Ayo.
I have never had multiple like celebrities that I liked at once. So Jonathan Taylor Thomas, that went on for years, where like
Andrew
I
Keegan.
wrote about him. Andrew Keegan, there were quite a few stories, but JTT always topped
Yeah.
him. So
Yeah.
then,
And then
before JTT, there was Jonathan Brandis, blah, 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 blah. So my entire life, I have done
right.
this.
Taylor
And
Hanson was for years.
Taylor Hanson was for years.
Still.
Nate Barkalow from Finch, the band Finch. It
You,
is,
yeah, you like
this
that
has
new
been
guy
my,
now?
yeah, this has like been my thing since I was young. And I was like, leave it to me to find favorite people that I will never actually get comforted by. I cannot actually go to with like how I feel and how I need just reassurance right now. Leave it to me. You want to talk about self-sabotage? What the fuck?
Right.
Who does that?
Oh, that could be a trilogy for us.
Bro, I was just like mind fucking blown, but also terrified. Like, if I ever had the chance to meet one of these people, right, in that moment when they were my favorite person, what would Lena Cole do? Would I
Cry.
actually put them in a trunk and keep them in a cage because they were my favorite person? Like, I joke about it, but now I'm curious,
I
is
don't
this
think so.
something I would do? And it would please me, which is
No!
psychotic.
Which is fine. That's okay.
god.
This documentary that I was watching, it just tells you so much about like how so many people have psychotic breaks, and it's, you know, so not normalized because you think like madness, like, you know, you have to fit in this realm of what normal is, that's slowly getting very, you know, not that I want to be in the normal range, but, you know, mental health is defined by the behavior at which people will accept you as mentally ill or not, or crazy
Right.
or not, and then write you off or not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I hate when people say things to me now that like I have a channel that make me sound like I'm nuts, like just ridiculous things. I don't know, like, you know, people who are experiencing BPD or, you know, PTSD, bipolar, depression, you know, even schizophrenics, like they're
Mm-hmm.
not crazy. They can't help that that's the way that their brains work.
Right.
It just is what it is. I do get terrified about that though, because my brain technically broke, as he says, and like now I have to repair it.
Mm.
Schizophrenia always worried me because I never want to be in present. I always want to be somewhere else, like in my head,
Yeah.
not physically. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that always worried me because then it's like with schizophrenics, like ignorance is bliss kind of thing. Auntie so and so,
Yeah.
leopard print, freaking lady. But that's when it comes down to like, you know, well, what makes you this way? You know, can you fix it? Can you change it? Like, I cut off my dad.
Yeah.
Happy Mother's Day. He wrote me happy birthday. I'm not writing you back. I'm done with you. You fucked it up the last time, and that's fine. You know, you have to know what you're willing to accept, the boundaries you are, and if you can't start with your family, who are the people that are supposed to love you the most, and you know that they're bad and you can't do that, you're never gonna be able to do it with anybody else either.
Agreed.
That's how I
And you
feel.
don't owe anyone
Like,
an explanation if you decide
nope.
to stop talking to them.
I did, and
Whatever.
I don't. Like, I told my mom the only time I would respond is if, like, he wrote, like, what the fuck? It's like, you're not doing this to AJ. He's already
Yeah.
going through enough with Tone,
Yeah.
you know, leaving and whatever. I'm not, you're not going to keep disappointing him or me.
Yeah.
Because the more I allow you to do that, you don't think you're doing anything wrong, but that's because your brain is so fucked up from all those years of using or whatever. I'm not doing that with you anymore because that's not gonna. I'm never gonna be able to heal or get a future relationship with someone who treats me the way I'm supposed to, because I'm just looking to fill a void that you left. So now I gotta pick that up by myself.
Right.
Thanks, Dad. But I'm fine. But that's why I want to be single. That's why I like being single. Like that, I don't need anybody right now for all that. Like I have to figure out what I want and who I am first before I can even be bothered with that. Worry
Yeah.
about AJ and getting my license and doing all the things that I want to do. When it's meant to be, it'll happen. That's how I feel.
Exactly. 'Tis life, my friend.
It's life.
So before we wrap up, I have a quick funny story. It's not really funny, but to me it is. So
that's all that matters.
Recently, yeah, I laugh by myself all the time.
That's why I said, I was like, meds or not, I'm still hilarious.
Yeah, basically. So the other day after I dropped the kids off, I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to try like recording something funny. So in my head, I'm like thinking of all these funny things that I could say, which never actually works out. And I'm like, yeah, I'm totally going to do this. So I hit shuffle on my playlist. And this is when the universe talks to me. Okay. I hit shuffle and I'm like, yeah, we're going to do something great. Whatever song comes on, I'm going to like sing to it or whatever and like record myself. The song that comes on is this song called Stranded by Plum, the band. And it is like the saddest fucking song.
Jesus Christ. Do you ever get sad and listen to music and then just keep it going?
Yes. So this one,
like, why are you making yourself cry?
I was all hopped up and ready, and then it's a song basically where someone leaves her, and she has like a broken heart, and I was like, "Well played, fucker!" So I just did record, and I sang.
Right, no, I get like that sometimes. Like, I'll have my shuffle on. Like, I have specific playlists where it's only upbeat music, so I don't get caught.
Same.
Because I know when I'm doing good and when I'm not doing good. Because if songs trigger me to be upset and cry, I mean, I cry on the way to work like every day.
But is it because you're going to work or because
No,
of
it's
music?
because like there'll be a song, yeah, that comes on, and then like it just kind of gets me thinking or whatever. So I really try to stay in like an area of pumped upness, but there's like usually at least a minute or two where I'm like weepy or whatever. But again, like I'm coming out again of another depression, so it takes time, and
Yeah,
it just sometimes you just think like, well, when's the next time gonna happen that I get down like that again?
yeah.
Like the
Down
first
with the
time,
sickness, you know?
right? That's it. Be down with it and fuck it up because Jesus Christ, sometimes that shit is a bitch,
Yeah.
and that's all. So,
Woo-woo.
woo!
That's all I got for today.
Yeah, that was those I liked today. Today was good.
Yeah, the grand opening.
The the finale, or I mean, anyway, fuck my life.
What? As Sphincter says what? What? Exactly.
Some people like their cucumbers better pickled. What? Yeah.
All right,
Is this what
guys.
crazy looks like?
Thanks
Thanks for
for
watching.
tuning in. Woo! Oh, kitty. I love that cat.
He's like, bitch, you woke me up.
Right?
Bye.
He doesn't even
He's looking
care.
right
That's
at
the
the
best
camera.
part.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. He's alright. Well, thanks
But
for watching, guys, and we'll be back with another one. If there's a topic that you want to hear about or for us to talk about, let us know. Comment,
otherwise, we're
like,
just gonna go
subscribe,
off of
follow.
all the things that swirl in our head, which is fine too. But let us
That's
know what you
fine too.
like,
Yep.
what you want to talk about,
Yep.
and we'll be back soon.
We will be back soon.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.